Space, the final frontier. For millions of years, mankind has looked upon the stars with wonder, marveling at its majesty, its deep, infinite mystery. Humans all collectively staring up with one question in their minds. Can I drink you?
Yeah, for something that is supposed to be themed around the flavor of space, it tastes like dirt. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show with the crisp, refreshing taste of bitter jealousy. That's largely because Coca-Cola recently partnered with popular TikToker Addison Rae, while my inbox remains conspicuously silent. Is it because she has more subscribers than us? It must be the subscriber count. It's the only explanation. We have a solid 3.5 million. She has 86 million. They're TikTok subscribers. Those aren't real, honestly. Regardless, though, I'm gonna need you guys to smash that subscribe button really hard right now because we got a lot of ground to make up. Guys, we can't lose to this. Anyway, while we're waiting for those subs to roll in, let's talk about Coke. Turns out, global pandemics don't translate well to stellar beverage sales. When people go to fewer stores to buy soda, go to fewer restaurants with soda fountains, and focus on drinking a gallon of water a day as part of a trendy self-care routine, they don't end up drinking as many Coca-Cola products. And now that everyone is saving up their pennies to buy a tank of gas, they're also less likely to splurge on the extra Coke Feisty Cherry at their local gas station. Basically, all of these issues have fused together to form the perfect storm for Coca-Cola. Business ain't booming, and as a result, nearly 200 of their brands are being discontinued, including Tab, Odwalla Fruit Juices, and Coke Life, the random one with the green label whose key selling feature was that it had 15 calories. So random. Anyway, all of this is in an effort for Coke to refocus on their core brands: Classic, Diet, Zero Sugar, and for some reason, Now Plus Coffee. But that's not to say that they're not doing anything new. Anything that's remotely experimental has been banished over to the lands of memes and glow-ups. The internet, the place where we have no standards and will put anything into our bodies. It's not even an exaggeration. They've made Coke Creations, a new marketing strategy, quote, supported by a digital-first marketing campaign. Basically, the plan here is to use the power of digital creators, as well as the internet hive mind, as a testing ground to promote experimental Coke flavors. And you're telling me we weren't the first on your list of people to reach out to, Coca-Cola? Coming to store shelves soon, an experimental new Coke flavor, Matt Pat's Seething Rage. Anyway, the first concoction to emerge from this whole thing is what I want to talk about today. The new, the alluring, the confusing Coke Starlight, a soda that advertises on the can that it's, quote, space flavored. Excuse me, space flavored? All right, rewind a bit. This company is no stranger to taking risks on advertising, and there's no company in the world more willing to spend marketing dollars to make sure that Coke is never out of arm's reach. If you haven't seen our history of Coca-Cola advertising, check out how Coke invented Santa. It's pretty wild, some of the stuff this company's done. Then again, it shouldn't be all that surprising. This is the same company that pulled a Mr. Beast back in 1990 by stuffing actual money inside of soda cans to get people to buy.
Coca-Cola Classic introduces Magic Cans.
So, you know, if they want something to work, they're gonna go all in on it. And Coke Starlight, which, let's be honest, sounds more like a highly caffeinated My Little Pony, is Coke's first attempt to create an internet buzzy brand designed to become a pop culture trend thanks to social media influencers. And so, true to form, they did go all in on it. It has all the corporate mandated checkboxes of something young and hip and cool. It features a QR code to unlock an augmented reality concert by Ava Max, Instagram filters for all you over 30 moms rocking out on the IG, an immersive ASMR experience, AR emojis, even a limited edition clothing line. Honestly, the only thing that they're missing right now is some badly designed NFTs, and you've got yourself the capitalist dystopia bingo. But for as over the top as all this sounds, it isn't the first time that Coke's gone all out to use space to shill soda. Between the 1960s and the 1980s, the Cold War space race sparked an obsession with eating in zero gravity on spaceships, which actually provides some of the roots to Coke Starlight's reemergence today. Starting over 50 years ago, it wasn't enough to fly to the moon, you had to bring a cool snack to the moon. As the influencers of their day, astronauts blessed a number of quote-unquote space-age snacks from the time period, including the most famous, Tang, whose entire marketing campaign revolves around the fact that it was that orange drink that astronauts took to space one time in 1962. Meanwhile, 70s kids would have grown up hearing about Pillsbury's space food sticks.
The energy snack from U.S. Aerospace Research and Pillsbury.
Ah, yes, an energy food developed under government contract. Sells itself. And of course, in the 80s, snack shelves and gift shops at the local science museum were full of freeze-dried food marketed as astronaut meals. The only survivor today being maybe astronaut ice cream. Melts in your mouth, crumbles in your hand. Coke, meanwhile, sought to leave their mark with the Space Cola Wars, a 100% real thing where Coke and Pepsi competed to partner with NASA in order to become the first soda drink in space. To make it all happen, both companies rushed to make space-compatible soda dispensers for out-of-this-world carbonation, cause, you know, the nuclear Cold War was going on and soda in space topped the list of national priorities. This $250,000 Coke dispenser, costing about $650,000 in today's money, won the Space Cola Wars, giving Coke the edge in interstellar soda fountain ventures. The reason you've probably never heard of any of this, though, is that the testing for the system debuted during the NASA Challenger missions in 1986. Missions that would see a tragic end when a shuttle exploded shortly after launch. Which brings us back to today, Coke Starlight and the taste of space. This product is billed as space flavored, as in outer space, but that's gotta just be a marketing gimmick, right? Like, what would space really taste like? Well, I'm here equipped with a 12-pack of Coke and a few bottles of skepticism to try and figure out what the heck space flavored in this instance means. Like, really, does space have a flavor? And if so, could Coke possibly match it? First, let's start off with how Coca-Cola itself describes the flavor of Starlight. Quote, great Coca-Cola taste with a dash of the unexpected, including a reddish hue. Let's pause it right there. Doesn't bode all that well when a discussion of taste begins with what the color of the thing is. Anyway, back to the quote. Its taste includes additional notes reminiscent of stargazing around a campfire, as well as a cooling sensation that evokes the feeling of a cold journey to space. To that I gotta say, what are you talking about? As far as I know, stargazing tastes like grass clippings and mosquitoes, and campfires taste like literal ash floating through the air, so far they've told me that the soda tastes like cold ashes and bugs, but hey, it's cool and refreshing. Since that gave me basically nothing to work with, I decided to open the floor for opinions. First, I started with other online beverage reviewers, and the results were varied.
The qualities of this remind me of cotton candy, but it's offset by also this flavor that's like a little bit of like eating a graham cracker.
You feel like you're drinking vanilla Coke at first, and then it gets bitter.
You got the cotton candy in there, baby. Cotton candy. You know what cotton candy tastes like, don't you?
Am I getting a little cinnamon, maybe? It kind of tastes like a Christmas drink to me.
Sweet like cotton candy seemed to be the most common call out, and the mentions of cinnamon and graham cracker made me think that the tastes like campfire might be referring to some sort of flavor riff on s'mores. A drinkable s'mores doesn't really sound all that appealing. Heck, even the vanilla flavor that people seem to be calling out might be a stand-in for the marshmallow. So with the internet weighing in, it was time to turn to the most discerning group of people I know, Team Theorist.
All right, I got me some Coca Cola Starlight that tastes like space, whatever that means.
It smells like dirt.
Huh, actually not sure yet. It's reminding me of Coke Vanilla.
It kind of tastes like what a diet drink tastes like.
Is this what space tastes like?
Wow, there's a lot there. There is a lot there.
Space tastes weird.
Space tastes very weird. Oh, it comes in stages.
Yeah, I don't know what in the Starlight this tastes like, to be honest.
And finally, after watching everyone else take a drink, I was getting thirsty. It's time to take a swig. I am real curious when you pitch something to me as space flavored. What you doing? As you guys know, I am a soda fiend. I love Diet Coke. It basically is infused into my blood system. If you were to pierce me right now, I would not bleed. I would just emit carbonated, diety, fizzy beverage, which is delicious. Weird. That is... That's a flavor roller coaster, friends. Yeah, for something that is supposed to be themed around the flavor of space, it tastes like dirt. The back half tastes very dirty. Taking all the data into account, the categories of flavors seem to amount to 1, very sweet and fruit forward, 2, earthy, dirty, a little bit more savory or cinnamony in the middle, and 3, just kind of cold on the end. So yeah, I would probably say the closest equivalent to this wild ride is a s'mores flavored soda. But it does beg the question, is that what space actually tastes like? Does outer space even have a flavor? If this thing is supposed to taste like space, then does space taste like some sort of sweet fruit or cotton candy with s'mores thrown into the mix? I guess no one can disprove it by flying into space and sticking their tongue out, or can we? Spoiler alert, we can kind of figure out the flavor of space, and Coke isn't as far off as you might expect. The real scientific answer for has anyone ever tasted space is, of course, no. Not because you can't open a spacesuit and take a lick, but rather because statistically there's just nothing out there to taste. Only about 0.00000000000000000000042% of outer space actually contains anything at all. Meaning that the real taste of Coke Starlight should be nothing, aka the taste of LaCroix. If you were really to squint at the problem, which it seems like Coke might be doing here, they could be basing the flavor of Starlight on one specific experiment from 2009, when astronomers used Spain's IRAM telescope to study Sagittarius B2, an enormous dust cloud that's 120 parsecs from the center of the Milky Way. The IRAM telescope is a radio telescope capable of detecting large molecules, specifically amino acids believed to be inherently linked to life forms, and therefore an indicator of life beyond our world. Well, they didn't come up with any evidence for extraterrestrials, they did find outer space's keys to Flavor Town. I mean, again, if you squint at it really hard. The team with the experiment detected noticeable amounts of ethyl formate, a naturally occurring ester that, among other things, is responsible for making raspberries taste like raspberries and rum smell rummy.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Articles that covered the discovery of ethyl formate really focused on the fact that it helps flavor raspberries and rum, but that sort of stuff is just the tip of the iceberg. What makes this molecule so interesting from a flavoring standpoint is that it can stand in for a number of other flavors, because it reacts at 2 different points, right where you see those 2 oxygen atoms. This means that ethyl formate can provide a huge range of flavors, much like what our team of theoretical testers described when they were tasting Coke Starlight. First, it does appear in raspberries as a naturally occurring ester and alcohol, and it'll react over time as the raspberries get older, first contributing a fruity flavor and then to a fermented flavor when it gets too ripe.
I guess off rip, I'd describe it as a really sweet taste.
It's like a mix of a bunch of fruit.
Some kind of fruity taste in there that I can't pinpoint.
It doesn't taste like a fruit, but it tastes like it should be a fruit.
Put it in water and suddenly it breaks apart to create ethanol, which is why you start to taste something alcoholic like rum.
If you've ever rinsed your mouth and then when you spit it out, you still have the alcohol taste.
You get like an alcohol taste right before the mouthwash? Like a rum.
Rum. Would go good with rum.
This reaction actually makes ethyl formate a good choice for flavoring non-alcoholic beverages, because you get the taste of alcohol without the ability to make you drunk. On the other hand, if you mix ethyl formate with the natural oils from coffee beans, you witness a completely different flavor profile. Burnt, green, earthy, and fermented, which are the markers of a strong coffee.
It has kind of this earthy coffee quality to it. I dig that.
There's a bitterness in there. It's almost like a coffee.
So it's got that earthy sort of feel to it, like that dark sort of flavor.
And while ethyl formate may not chemically react to taste like cooling mint, aromatically it can contribute to a mint scent, which is why it's sometimes used in perfume to suggest a minty smell.
I noticed at the end you taste kind of like a menthol sensation.
And the slightest hint of mint.
I feel like I'm drinking mouthwash.
All the benefits of a soda and mouthwash at the same time.
Yes, like a fine mouthwash.
So really, the science lines up to explain all the bizarre flavors that we were getting inside our cans of Space Coke. And in the weirdest conclusion ever, there's a strong possibility that all of those flavors actually come from this single ingredient, ethyl formate, developing in different ways in your mouth or in combination with the other soda ingredients to create a weird, almost personalized flavor experience for everyone who tries it. Does this stuff taste like space? Well, based on the extremely limited science that we have, if we cram together a huge amount of space dust from an otherwise totally empty cosmos, yeah, it would contain ethyl formate, which has a flavor roughly like raspberries, alcohol, and fermented coffee. The only question I have left in this weird collision of flavors is, should you put the flavor of space into a soda? Consensus says,
I wouldn't not recommend this, but I wouldn't recommend it either. I mean, it's kind of like a slightly different flavor of Coke.
I'd recommend this to anybody, honestly. If you like sweet stuff mixed with a sort of earthy sort of flavor, I would say drink this.
Would I recommend this to you? No. I think it's pretty gross.
I would drink this on the moon with Elon Musk.
Personally, I love this. I think there's so much flavor to it that if you like Coke, but you're bored of just drinking normal Coke, that this would be a nice little hit of variety for you.
I don't think, as a human being that cares about other human beings, that I can recommend this. Jerika, do you recommend this?
Space tastes gross. No.
It tastes like mouthwash.
Is it something that I'm gonna want to drink more of? No. No. You can launch this off to space, I don't care. In the end, just because you can make something taste like space doesn't mean you necessarily should. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bottoms up.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Hey!
It's really great of you to sit and watch. Oh, look, a video!
Oh my god, another one!
Oh, you can click on these right now.
Oh, mine's better.
You can click. No, mine's better.
Oh, look at this one.
Mine's better.
This one.
This one. Click it.
Go.
Subscribe. Ring the bell.
Leave.
Now.